Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Polly and today we're going to be talking about layering fragrances. Is there a specific method? No. I'm just going to share with you kind of my theory, my logic, and a few fragrances that I use to layer, why and how, and blah blah so forth. So let's see. So a few methods that I use. So one of them is going to be to use one fragrance that is going to be the dominant one. That's the one that I want the most to come through. And for example, I want to add a little bit something to it. You're like, I wish this had a little bit of this, just a little bit. So then I'll take a fragrance, for example, something very strong, and I'll place it, for example, in the back of my neck. So it only kind of gives a little aura, or only here. So it kind of vibes, but it's not very mixed. It's just something kind of in the background pulsating. One method. Now, when you layer one on top of the other, here's the deal. Few things I avoid. I don't like doing it when the first fragrance is still wet on my skin. I want that liquid to go away because I don't want to actually mix the two fragrances. It's chemistry and I don't want to mess the molecules or whatever is happening there. I don't want that. Plus, I want the first fragrance to open. I want those notes to open. And then I'll add the next one to open as well. So I want the mixture to be more in the air versus, just kind of mixing almost like that in a vial, but on my skin. Now, if it's a oil base, kind of like Mancera Montal, I'm going to start with them because if I go with them over a fragrance, they're going to suffocate it. I mean, they're beast modes as is. So but I feel like the consistency is just going to even suffocate whatever fragrance is underneath and block it completely. So they're going to be my second one. And obviously, how much? Well, that just really depends what you're using, how potent it is, and what's your goal and what you're trying to achieve. Now, the fragrances that I like using, they're more on the simple side. They're more linear. They don't go through too many transitions. It's something that I know that I can trust, and it's kind of consistent from the beginning to end, so that I know what I'm getting through the entire scenario. And I know exactly what I'm adding to fragrance X, whatever, for example. So let's talk about some fragrances that I love to layer with. Okay, so for example, today I layered, it was brilliant. It was so good. So I did the Al Haramain Amber Oud Rouge. So this is, the Baccarat Rouge dupe. I love it. It's so good. Very sweet, and it has some woods. Instant Crush has more wood. I love Instant Crush for the wood. So good. But I layered this today with this one. They was Lattafa, right? Reminiscence. This is a non-pungent oud fragrance, very soft and beautiful, with some raspberry in it. It's not a sweet fragrance, but the raspberry just gives it something beautiful in there. And there's spices. It's just pretty with oud and spices and other woods. And guys, these together equals Instant Crush. Because as light as this is, and by light I mean I've smelled other oud fragrances that are kind of in the non-expensive section that are very pungent. They're very screechy and pungent and animalic and dirty, and I don't like this. So this one, being more polite, performed fantastic, added the perfect amount of the oud and wood and the spices to this very sweet concoction, turning it into Instant Crush. I have it right here. Beautiful. It mellowed, so this one mellowed this guy's sweetness, but this guy's sweetness added to this. They balanced each other perfectly. So this one for me is a dry kind of fragrance, dry, spicy, woody fragrance to add with something very sweet. They balance each other. Because layering same fragrances, fruity and fruity, it's like what you get more fruity, it's useless. But something that is the opposite, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I like to create a brand new fragrance, kind of, a new baby versus just kind of, I don't know, more of the same. Stunning. I can still smell this one. And as much as I say this is not a beast fragrance, because I spray, and about after like 3-4 hours, I'm not very aware of it. Maybe other people are. I'm just not. And I gotta say, 5-6 hours later, I can still smell it, and I can even smell it kind of projecting here and there on me. So I think maybe because the Al Haramain is a much more longer performer, it enhanced the performance of this and the longevity, and it came out beautiful. Another layering that I did, very successful one, let me say so myself, was this one. This one is Rihanna Mukhalat. Very similar in performance and kind of the feel of this one. Everything is calm, nothing is screechy, nothing aggressive, nothing masculine, ooh, none of that. This is also dry, but not, I'm sure there's woods in here, but it's more on the spices than the woods. This is woody, this is spicy. Both of them, this one has woods, this one has spices, but this one is all about the spice, this is all about the wood. And both of them are dry, polite, beautiful. Nothing that overstimulates no one's senses, just perfection. I really like this one. It's also beautiful on its own, but I layered it with Roses Vanille. Roses Vanille, I got this one over the Cafe Intense, right? Why? I love Cafe Intense. It is a great fragrance. Is there similarity? Sure. Are they identical in dupes? No. It's like saying all citruses smell the same. Well, yeah, they kind of do, but not really. It's basically rose, for granted that there's like 3 notes of sugar and musk and some woods in the base, right? But it's basically a sugary Middle Eastern rose. And it's a very simple fragrance. This one doesn't go through changes of an opening and a dry down. It's pretty much what you get. What you smell in the beginning is what you get through the entire time. And I like it for that reason. It's safe because it doesn't surprise me. I know what to expect. I know what I'm getting. And this is the kind of stuff I like to layer things with. I love it on its own, but because it's not going to change, there's no complex notes, it is very easy to add things to him, and you can get like 7-10 more different fragrances using this as your base. I love that. And these two together, this one gave this guy those warm spices, made it very sensual, to kind of come down with all those sugars and whatnot. This marriage was beautiful. Same thing can be used with this or any other just very dry kind of fragrance, because another sweet fragrance with this, I mean, how much sugar can we take? This has plenty. So now we're going to the other extreme, something dry. This is very sweet, so let's go with something spicy. Let's go with some woods. Beautiful. And these guys, obviously, they're Middle Eastern, so they're going to go beautifully with a Middle Eastern rose fragrance. I mean, just by mixing these, I can also layer all 3 and create a completely new fragrance. That probably all these fragrances exist for a lot of money in Middle Eastern brands, but I don't need to, because this is the base, and this is very authentic rose base Middle Eastern fragrance. Beautiful, and I love it for that reason. Some other fragrances that I love to layer with, by the way, is these guys by Jessica Simpson. The Fancy Love and Fancy. They're very simple, same thing. They're not strong, they're not intense, but they have a presence. A very beautiful, gentle presence. This one is fresh, right? This one is a little bit sweet caramel, kind kind of, it's fun. It's really, I love this guy. And it's a year-round kind of fragrance for me, honestly. And they're very easy. So if you want something slightly sweet, a little caramelly, but not a lot, just a little bit, a pinch. This is a pinch because for me, it's almost like there's some kind of like pink pepper. There's some kind of zest there as well. It's not just like a cloying caramel sweetness. So I love this one. And this is a beautiful, fresh, clean scent. So for me, I would layer this with something like this, the Amazing Grace Ballet Rose. Both of them are fresh, right? But if I'm like, you're rose, but I feel like I want like a clean, almost detergent vibe of a rose. This one. There is the musk or whatever is in here. There's nothing in the malic. It's so clean and pure. So both of these are clean and pure, but they smell very different. But together, beautiful combination. They just support each other. Stunning, beautiful stuff. Same thing with this, with any kind of wood fragrance. This one, for example, with Living by Lalique. By the way, whoever you are, if you love wood fragrances, get your nose on this stuff. Sensational. This is strictly stunning, perfect woods with some kind of freshness in the background. It's not heavy woods. It's elegant, sophisticated, chic. This is chic wood, very unisex. A man will smell very fresh, woody, posh, and a woman is just going to smell very sophisticated. For summer, easy. I feel like this is a perfect woody scent for summer. There's no sweetness in here. It's just beautiful, but it's not this kind of dry. It's not that kind of spices. It's amazing. The performance is phenomenal. But for me, like something like this will work beautifully because this one is not heavy, but neither is this. With all the woods, this is not a heavy fragrance. This is not man fragrance, or it's not. It's so beautiful. It's very, it's lyrical, stunning. And both of these I feel will balance each other beautifully. This will add some sweetness, some caramel to it, but it's not going to overpower. They're not going to battle each other. They're just going to have a nice, supportive, quiet marriage. Very polite fragrances together. All right, let's see. Also something like this. Oh, Mademoiselle by Givenchy. This one. By the way, guys, wearing this would be so good. I don't know. That phrase made no sentence, but I can so see this on a man. The rose is dry and dark, smoky. So this is bitchin'. This is a fragrance for people who have balls, you know, not literally, but you know, mental balls. This is so good. But something like this, again, because it's as woof as it is, the concept is very simple. Dry, dark rose, and it's smoky and woody. So it's not as ooh la la as it is. Complex, it is not. Okay? It may be difficult for people to wear because of its nature, but in terms of notes, it's not, you know, going places. So this is something I can trust. For example, I'm like, oh, I want this vibe. Can we taper down kind of that dryness and all that smokiness? Sure, why not? Or any kind of other fragrance that you have, you know, something like that. But this is the kind, or maybe I want to add some more wood. Maybe I want, like, you know, up the volume. Sure, throw some wood in there. This is so good. This is really, really good. Oh man, I'm thinking this with Spice Bomb. Wow. I'm gonna get my hands on that fragrance. I love that fragrance. I'm like, I'm okay that I don't have it right now because it is summer and it's not the best time for Spice Bomb, but oh my God, it's like one of the most amazing things I've smelled. It's so good. I want it. I need it in my life and I will have it. But just saying. Now, let's do the finale. The finale is actually, this is the one that inspired me. I'm not even looking at you. I'm sorry. That's so rude. But this one is what inspired me to do this video. I kind of accidentally created this concoction. My beloved English Laundry. The signature. Like I said, I'm using the crap ton of it. That's why I have a backup. Now, I just went, you know, I went cuckoo with it. And that's how I use it. Just cover myself in it. I want to swim in this deliciousness. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, I want something else. Like something I haven't used for a while. So I'm like, well, I'm sitting at home. Let me kind of really like, you know, go out there, like create something peculiar. I layered this, okay, this one with Insolence by Guerlain. Who would have thunk it? Well, at least not me. This iris powdery kind of fake, that's why they say candy, because candy is fake and you can smell something kind of not natural in here, but in the best way possible. But it's real, like you can really smell the notes here. And then this laundry, which is nice and fresh, the freshness balances the powder in here. So this one powder and this is detergent. So theoretically, clean works together, but this one is fresh and this one is sweet. And you know, powder can be a little bit too much. It freshens it up. It kind of gives more light and air to it, lifts it up. But the sweetness here and there's sweetness there. So they're not combating each other. They're just working in harmony. And then all the floral notes added to this and to that masculine undertone of this fragrance just created a beauty. This baby was stunning, stunning, I tell ya. By the time this one wore off, by the way, this one was still going strong. Such a simple fragrance. No, this is not a masterpiece, but you know, I enjoy simplicity sometimes as well. And this is amazing simplicity. So here I'll say this. If another way that I layer, kind of what I just showed you, the idea to take something very feminine and take something masculine and bring them together. It's a yin and yang that balance each other. Think of when you go to a club, there's some kind of a smell to it. It's the man cologne and the female fragrance, and they combine together. It smells like, you know, ooh, what's today? You know, what's tonight going to bring? Excitement, you know, like, you know, naughty behavior. It's just, it's sexy, you know, it sparkles. It's, you know, the masculine fragrances with feminine fragrances, they balance each other and they create a brand new baby. Yeah, why not? Let's go there. And that's how I like to layer my fragrances sometimes. I have other men fragrances that are mine. My husband doesn't use male fragrances. I try to make him, but he doesn't want to. And that's what I love about it. It creates such a beautiful scenario and very interesting and edgy. And obviously you can, you know, put more feminine, less masculine, vice versa. You can really taper and change it to how you want. Another way that I like to layer is using those little oil fragrances that I got from Swiss Arabia, the oud ones. They're perfect. Again, a little bit here, a little bit there to add to any kind of feminine fragrance. kind of to let that be in the background with some jasmine, or I have a lot of fragrances with how do you call it, orange blossom, anything like that. And there's like a little bit, because it's an oil, it's not very projecting, there's like that little vibration of some kind of oud that comes and goes, depends on how the air moves or how I'm moving, and suddenly I'll get a whiff of that and that combination, and it keeps you on your toes during the, you're like, oh, there it is, you know. It's just so fun and so exciting. You know, not a lot of is going on, so I guess, you know, just amazing. But yeah, so these are the ones that I layered. These are kind of the ideas and concepts behind my method, at least. And there's no rules or regulations to it. You know, just try and fail with different fragrances. More, okay, like, oh, okay, so next time, more of this, less of that. Or maybe I'll just spray this all around. And this one, I'll just put 2 sprays over here, or 1 here, 1 behind my neck. And just kind of play with it and see what comes up. If you have a boyfriend, husband, whoever, brother, and he has fragrances, try to layer yours with his and just kind of see. I mean, do it on a piece of paper, do it on your hand. You're sitting at home, chilling, you're not doing anything. Why not? Just kind of play with it, and it just becomes a little bit more fun and interesting. So when you're kind of sick and tired, or you're bored with what you have, you can adjust what you have, and it's more interesting than just getting new. It's like, ooh, what can I make? You know, it's like, how do you call it? My God, me and words, Jesus Christ. A lab. There you go. You can be, you know, a crazy lab doctor. Just no explosions, right? And just mix it up. Have fun. Why not? But all right, guys, that's it for today. That's what I got to share with you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.